talk about Snake Island and the importance of it. What actually happened there and why is it so important?
Yeah, Snake Island. It's in a strategically important position. It's got a very ancient history. It features in Greek mythology quite a lot. Achilles and Patroclus were said to be buried there. However, it is strategically important because it controls the air route and the sea route in and out of Odessa. So whoever controls Snake Island is in a position to do something about Odessa. And if we're talking about grain shipments out of Odessa, then getting the Russians away from Snake Island is probably a big plus for the Ukrainians. But they've been fighting over Snake Island since day one, as we've mentioned many, many times. And the Russians having taken the island, they installed anti-aircraft and anti-missile defences on the island. The Ukrainians kept attacking them. They were able to sink quite a lot of ships, but eventually the Russians got all this stuff onto Snake Island. Once they got missile and air defences there, they didn't think the Ukrainians would actually push them off it. But the Ukrainians have pushed them off it by using not missiles and aircraft, but good old-fashioned artillery. And what they've done is use their new 155mm artillery, mainly the French system, the howitzer, the Caesar howitzer. The Ukrainians have their own, it's called a Badani system, but they've only got one or two of them, very, very new. They might have used them, but much more likely it was the French Caesar howitzer. And the point is that this howitzer fires quite a lot of shells, and with shells that are called base bleed shells, these are shells which reduce the vacuum behind the shell, allows the shell to go that little bit further. So with base bleed shells, they have a range of 42 kilometres, and that's just enough to reach Snake Island from the Ukrainian mainland, and that's what they've done. So they've managed it with these sorts of systems, and they've made it impossible, effectively, for the Russians to stay on Snake Island.
OK, so that's Snake Island and Odessa. Let's look to the east. Lysychansk, obviously so much talk about that. What is happening there? What do we know?
Yeah, the Ukrainians, they withdrew from Severodonetsk, which we always knew that they would. They fought for three weeks longer than people thought they might, and probably they thought they would. And they've withdrawn to Lysychansk, and that's a good defensive position. It's high ground on the western side of the river, and they've got quite strong positions there. The Russians will be very lucky to get over the river and attack Lysychansk. But what the Russians have been able to do is get round the back. Finally, the Russians have crossed the river Seversky Donets in force. They're attacking the oil refinery, and the point about the oil refinery is that it's southwest of Lysychansk. If they take the refinery, which is a natural fortress, any big industrial facility can be made into a fortress. That's what the Ukrainians have done. If the Russians take it, and they are saying that they have taken it, that's entirely plausible, then they can actually close that gap quite easily. They can surround the Ukrainians. So the Ukrainians will have to withdraw from Lysychansk probably more quickly and further than they might have anticipated. And the road from Bakhmut down in the southwest here, which is the main line of communication into Lysychansk, that is now under enormous threat. They've fought over it, on and off now for weeks. And so I suspect that the Ukrainians are on the verge of having to withdraw further westwards, where they will make their next stand, I'm sure, in Slavyansk and Kramatorsk.